Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Prakash Gujarati. Today you'll master complete CRUD operations using Node.js, Express.js and MySQL with real world X. Let's build something amazing.
Okay, so today we create the CRUD operation using MySQL as a database. Okay, so first I just share the things about MySQL. We want to run MySQL in our system. So I have a XAMPP and I install that MySQL with that XAMPP. So I just start this. So my MySQL service is running. First, I create the project using npm init-y. So my project has created. What are the settings we required? So first I create the main file app.js or index.js and I put that file here. Command is, for example, start colon. I supposed to use nodemon, so I just write nodemon right now. So nodemon and my type is module. Okay, so that is done. Now I install that libraries which makes my CRUD APIs with MySQL. So I need to install the Express, nodemon and MySQL as a library, MySQL 2. So npm I Express, nodemon and another one is MySQL 2, that is latest one. So I use MySQL 2 as a library. Meanwhile, I prepare one of my database in my MySQL. So first I create the database. Database name is something like for example CRUD node. I just give the database name as CRUD node and I supposed to prepare products as a table and there are 4 fields. So I just prepare the products table. CRUD node is my database name. So first I give the field name, that is ID, auto increment primary key, product name, that is varchar and limit is for example 100. Another one is category. So right now I'm using varchar 50 and that is a price. There is a price. Okay. So these are the basic fields I have added. So that is price is about okay, that's fine. So I just prepare this, save. So I prepared one database, that is CRUD node, and I prepared the table, that is products. Even I add some sample records because I do the first API, that is retrieve the data from the database. So product name is something, for example, I said iPhone 16. Okay. And category is, for example, mobile. And iPhone 16, I just prepare the price, that is 5750. Okay, so this is my one record. Second record 17 mobile and it is 81. Okay, so that is my another record. So I added 2 sample record to show you how we retrieve the data from database. First API we do the retrieval, fetch the data. So how we can make this possible? So my library already installed. Now I just have to prepare my API. So first I import Express from Express.js. Then I want to make my object for the Express.js, that is app express. Even I want to plan that middleware for app use, that is Express.json, because when I send the data in JSON format, so I need to apply that a default middleware, that is global middleware Express.json. And I prepare one of my route, that is app.get. What I really want, so first I want to retrieve the all records which are the products. So I just give the products and I want that products as a request, response as a parameter. I want all the products over here, but right now I give the sample one. So response dot JSON and I'm writing the products list as a message and data is what, something which products data will come. So I prepare the route for the sample right now. Later on I do the database products fetch operation here. I will write here how to fetch the data from database. Right now I'm testing this route first Later on we do the code for the database. So this is my basic route for the retrieval the products. Now I run this server. So app.listen, and app.listen, that is a port number. So I prepare one of the variable, that is port. For example, 3001. I use 3001. So here I use, that is port, and then I supposed to write a function, and that function, sorry, console.log localhost slash port. So in this way we are preparing our server with single route, that is products. Shall we start check now? So I just run this project. This is basic one, everybody knows. Later on we start this database connect and retrieve the record. So now I run this project, npm start. If any mistake, so that will showing us. So there is nothing like. So I just open this URL. I just open URL here, 3001. My route is cannot get because that is not available, but I am using products as a routes. So I am writing products. So here I find the data, which is like a sample text for now. So now I just want the actual data from database. So I have a table, I have a record in this. So how we can find the data? So today's talk is about how we do the connections with the MySQL and how we retrieve, insert the record, even update, delete. So now I just do the connections with the MySQL. So I prepare one of the module. Even I can write here, but I prepare one of the files. So I don't want to write again and again from everywhere. So I just prepare one of the file where I do the MySQL connection. So I use import MySQL from MySQL2, that is line. I just save db.js. So this is my file db.js where I install MySQL. Okay, import the MySQL. Now I want to prepare the connections. So this is also way to do the connection. There is one way. Another way, we create the pool. Okay, both the way is fine. So for now I use suppose this way to do the DB connection. So for example, MySQL create connections. My host name is localhost. My user is root by default in MySQL. Password is blank, and my database name is what? CRUD node. I think CRUD node is my database. So I prepare this DB. Now I export this DB object from here. Export default DB. Now I use this DB from here. So I just import DB from where? Slash db.js. Okay. So this is my line which I have written. Now suppose I want to do the retrieval operation. So how we can retrieve the data? So I use db.query is a method. db.query method which contains first parameter is SQL. Second parameter is our closure which contains error and result. So I supposed to write a query, select star from products is my table. So I have written a query for now. Okay, and I want the data. So data is in this way. One is error, another one is results. So how I write this? I supposed to write this line here. So if my data comes, so that comes in result. So I supposed to write data as a results. Okay, so that result will comes. If error comes, then I need to write if condition. If error comes, then I just write console, or we can say response.json. In error write that is success and that is fail. In this way we can write it is fail, and error we are showing data as a error dot message. Is it fine? There is a JSON only, so I am writing in this way. Now you see the code, right? First there is my API endpoints, that is products. inside I call the function db.query. Inside first parameter is my query, select star from table. Another closer, that is my data which I am retrieving as a results. If error comes, then it's showing as a JSON message fail, otherwise it is success. So shall we check now? I just do the save, there is no error. Now I check that same route here, I'm getting the data, right? Because I have already added. Now my another endpoints I require to insert the data. So for example, I want to store the data, so I require some data I just want to submit. So either I use post method or any others, post or put, but I'm using for now for the store the data post method. So app dot post, and in a post, for example, I'm using products slash store, products slash store. Now I am using that store as a my endpoints, and I am calling one function, that is request response. Whatever data comes here, that will comes in a request.body. So first I check console.log here request.body, because I am using what, post method. So my data comes in a request, and request body that will I receive in a console. So I will check first my data comes, then I plan for the insert record. So how we can check this? My method is post, so I plan the form, or I plan for that Postman such a tool where I can do the request. So I have a one post method where I am using that route is my products 3001 products and store. What type of data I have? So my data is what I am planning for the data. So that is name, then category, then price. These are the data. For example, name is something, category is mobile, and price is fine. Okay, so I send this data in products slash store, so that will comes here in line number 90, that receive request.body, because my method is post, so I can receive request.body. Now I just send this. So my request has sent and I receiving over here, because right now I am not responding to the user, so that's why it is waiting. So I do the cancel, but here you receiving, so that API endpoint is ready. Now what we do, we want to insert this data in my database table. So how we can do this? So for now, to write that, for example, I am writing db.query. Query is a common method. Otherwise, you can use the insert method for the retrieval select method, but I am using query because we don't want to remember others method. Okay. So for example, I am using query, that is common. Every query you can write here. So I am using insert into products set and prepared statement, that is question mark. So what does happen? Insert into product set question mark. So whatever data comes, so it will prepare the whole tables fields. For example, like name equals to name, category equals to category, price equals to price, in this way. So I can write in this way also, or another way, if you don't have a similar type of field name in a form, so you can write like a in this way. For example, there is another way, values. Okay, here you write name, category, right? So this way also you know how to write the query. So for now I am using the shortcut way how you can reduce your line of code. So this is my query, insert into table set question mark is my data. So I am receiving data request dot body, and now I just supposed to call my closer, which retrieve the results. So for example, I am using error results, very similar to above, right? Either it comes error or either it comes result. So I am supposed to get the error. So what I am writing? I am writing this is my failure. Okay, so this is my failure. If I am getting any error, so that will be fail. Otherwise, what does happen? We want to show the result. So what I am doing? Results.json message is success, and whatever results comes. So when you are inserting data, so what does result you have? You have a as a ID. So for example, insert ID is your primary key auto increment ID you will receive. So I have a 2 record and I insert third one, so that will return 3. If you insert another one, so it will return next one 4. So in this way we can insert the record and we can check the response. So my code is ready for insert the data. Again I said db.query insert into table name set. Here you receive all the parameter, but you make sure your field name should be matched with your database field name. Okay, so if it is matched, then you use this way. Otherwise you want to use another way, we will show you, or I will show you in that way also. So I just send this request. So my field has matched with that database field name. So that is inserted record number 3, and that is Galaxy Mobile. Now I want to check I am receiving that data or not. So suppose I have a GET request as well. I am writing what? Products, and I can check 3001 submit. So here you have third record. Now if you want to store fifth one, I have another mobile, that is Realme something 16x, whatever, I don't know. Mobile price is about, okay, so that is fourth one, and I can retrieve fourth record.